So I'm going to be teaching the vocabulary for the next excerpt, which is becoming American. The first word is adopt. You notice the word, there are no prefixes and there are no suffixes. So that means that you could probably add, or maybe you could possibly add a prefix to change the meaning of the word, or a suffix. So the sample sentence reads, when refugees immigrate, often they have to adapt to new customs. So what I'm thinking is, I know what a refugee is. People that are forced to leave their country. Alright, so they have to adapt. So I'm going to try this substitution strategy where you take the word and you substitute for a word that you think the word actually is. So instead of saying adapt, to me it almost seems like the sentence should read, when refugees immigrate, often they have to get used to. Alright, so let's see if I'm correct. Okay, it's a verb, and it means to adjust to. So an example is, when entering middle school from elementary school, students had to adapt to new routines. So you all had to come here, you had to get used to the rules from many different teachers. When do you go to your locker? So you had to adapt, you had to get used to. Another example would be, after leaving the movie theater, my eyes had to adapt to the lights. Alright, so that's adapt. The next word is asylum. The United States granted asylum to more than 100,000 Vietnamese refugees during the Vietnam War. So I'm thinking it's probably a verb because it's something we did. Actually, no, I'm thinking it's a noun because we granted. So granted means give. All right, so I'm thinking these people who we granted, they were refugees from Vietnam. So I'm not sure if I'm going to try substitution. So maybe it's the U.S. granted freedom. That would be my guess. I don't know, because as we know, substitution does not always work. All right, so the definition is, you're guaranteed protection to a political refugee. So basically, if you came here, all right, and it's a noun, if you came here from another country because you were forced to, because maybe the leader was a dictator. So when you come to this country, you're not going to be kicked out. You're going to be here, and the U.S. is going to protect you. So an example of what we read about was the Cubans. When they left Cuba, because the dictator, Fidel Castro, said that they could leave, we granted them, the U.S. granted them asylum. Okay, and asylum, it's a noun. The next word is civil. The sample sentence is, after 10 years of military dictatorship, the country now has a civil government. So what I'm thinking, this word is describing the type of government. I'm going to pretty much make the inference that it's an adjective. So it's some type of government. So it means of or relating to people who live within a country. And it is, another example would be, you have civil laws for people. You have a civil war where we talked about the North and the South, where you had people. So the North versus South in the United States, they're fighting a civil war where the people of the country, of the same people of the same country, were fighting each other. All right. All right, benefits. Using a company car was just one of the many benefits Joe received from his company. So I'm thinking, all right, so one of the many, so let's try like good things. That doesn't really sound right. But I'm thinking it's probably a noun because it's something he received. So something he received. So benefits is a payment or service provided by a job. All right, so a lot of times your parents might get, there's health benefits. So you work, your parents work for a company and they give you health insurance. So when you go to the doctor, you don't have to pay as much money as if you didn't have health insurance. Another benefit, some people might have company cars. Okay, some people might have a benefit might be the company might own a vacation house. And you get to use a vacation house for once a week during the year. So sample sentence, it's a noun. Yep, I just showed it to you. A company car. All right, next word. A document. The government documented all the new laws they created. So just by looking at the word, I know that this is a verb because this is a subject, and what is the government doing? They are documenting. So I'm thinking, and probably like it says right here, it says to. Now the definition starts with to, so I know that it is a verb. To write or photograph something in order to keep a record of it. So basically this government, they want to record, so that would be a synonym, they want to, record their new laws. Other things you document, like Mrs. Turner, documents when students don't do their homework. All right, so I record it. I keep it as a record. And it is a verb. All right, the next word is dispute. So the sentence reads, the class had a huge dispute on who would make a better president. So I'm going to try substitution. It almost sounds like this word should be they had a huge fight. All right, let's check it out. And I'm thinking it's a noun too. So this means an argument or disagreement over something. So because it has an in front of it, I know that it's a noun. All right, so an example would be